All right. I hope there are good reasons why this happens, and I hope there is going to be a compensation this time around. There's going to be a statement that is going to guarantee everybody why this thing was postponed, and it must be done according to what they said. And I want you to pay attention to what they said and why it was postponed. And let's move forward. Subscribe to the update.
This morning, a heavy wind blew through the land, not a wind of dust or rain, but of expectations that appears to be, I wouldn't call it shattered, but a little bit prolonged. Again, another shift, another postponement, another silence from those who once gave us hope. And as I speak, millions sit quietly, their hearts aching, their stomachs empty, their faith trembling. How long shall we endure this darkness in the name of waiting? How long shall a nation be fed with empty dates and hollow silence? This is no longer a delay. It is an emotional terrorism. And silence from leadership is no longer passive. This is a loud complicity. Yes, just follow me. I want to go sequentially. This is not just another morning of expectation. It is the echo of 1,000 broken hearts walking up to yet another postponed promise. It is the sound of silence becoming too loud to bear. It is a cry from the trenches, where real people are holding on by mere threads. And it is here, in this silence, that we bleed. Not from gunshots of war, but from emotional starvation, from spiritual exhaustion, from the long wait for hope that never seems to arrive. It appears we are forgotten. We are desperate. And today we raise a voice, not in rebellion, no, but in holy frustration. The news came again this morning, quietly, indirectly, like an insult that is wrapped in smoke. I got it filtered through some of the channels that disbursement has been shifted again. Now till the first week of June. No address, no official communication, no voice note from the man who once thundered with purpose and prophecy. Just another whisper of delay, while millions hang on every word for the hope to breathe again. This has gone beyond disappointment. It is a psychological torture. It is a psychological torture. We were told April. We prepared. We fasted, we prayed. Then it was May. We held on tighter. We believed. Now we hear whispers. Just whispers. That the first week of June is the new hope. Yet no official word. No address. No emotional connection. No voice of reassurance. Where is Apostle Ken? I think you possibly asked the same question I'm asking. Where is Apostle Ken? Where is the voice of the one who once thundered about justice, about divine wealth, about grace for the masses? We have waited, even when it hurts. We have defended, even when mocked. We called for a voice note, something, anything to hold on to, but we were met with silence. This silence is not golden. It is devastating. This silence is not wisdom. It is abandonment. Nigeria is bleeding emotionally. The mothers are crying. The youths are boiling. Some have already lost the grip. Suicides, depression, spiritual fatigue. This is what a shifted goalpost does. And yet, all we ask for is a word. A true, honest, open, sensitive word from the country director himself. Not hidden messages, not coded whispers, not spiritual ambiguities. A clear address, a firm stand, a fatherly reassurance. Because this is no longer technical. It is human. It is human. I said it is human. How can you feed a nation with anticipation and then starve it with silence? How can you feed a nation with anticipation, then you starve it with silence? How do you call men and women to believe, only to disappear into quiet corridors of planning and boardroom delay? Where is Apostle Ken, the country director of UAAG? Where is the shepherd's voice to the sheep whose wool is drenched in tears? Where is the man who spoke with power when this journey began? We don't need signs and wonders. We don't even need another prophecy. What we need now is sincerity. What we need is communication. What we need is accountability. When you are silent this long, you let doubt become doctrines. You let darkness become louder than faith. You let the enemies of hope have their say. And the people begin to die in stages, mentally, emotionally, even physically. Some cannot hold on anymore. Some have already lost everything. Some are on the brink of suicide because this was their only hope. We have been quiet. We have been patient. We have been prayerful. But now, it is necessary to speak. Very necessary to speak. Nigeria is bleeding emotionally. Nigeria is bleeding emotionally. Nigerians, this is the time to rise, not in violence, but in collective urgency. Demand clarity. Demand accountability. We're not asking for miracles. We're asking for dignity. We're not provoking war. No, we are provoking responsibility. Let your voices rise from every WhatsApp group, every community, every gathering. This is not rebellion. It is the echo of broken hearts begging for truth. Let Apostle Ken hear us. Let management feel our heartbeat. Let the first week of June not become another graveyard of hope. Let the silence be broken. Loudly, clearly, responsibly. Because when people break, they don't always come back whole. This is more than a disbursement. This is about lives. This is about a nation on the edge. And about the voice we desperately need now. Yes, it's about the voice we desperately need now. I say it again. This is not a coup. No. And this is not rebellion. This is the cry of the people. The same people who believed, who supported, who waited. And now we demand only what is just, what is fair, and what is human. I think an address from the country director would do. A word from Apostle Ken himself. Not just for formality, but for healing. Let us not continue to treat this with kid gloves. We are dealing with human lives. Have you walked the streets lately? Have you seen the mother who can't pay school fees because she believed this was coming? Have you seen the young man sleeping outside because he gave his last to register for the hope that was sold or appeared to have been sold? Do you know the elderly who now sit in silence, staring out windows, waiting for a message that never came? This is heart-wrenching. This is almost suicidal. This is dangerous. And this is no longer spiritual. It is deeply emotional and psychological. People are cracking beneath the weight of silence. What does it cost to speak? Huh? What does it cost to speak? What does it cost to send a voice note to the people? What does it cost to care? What does it cost to care and send a voice note to the people? We understand processes. We understand systems. But we do not understand abandonment. We do not understand consistency in shifting of the goalpost without a single touch of emotional responsibility. The gospel you preach was full of compassion, but right now, the people need to feel that compassion again. To Nigerians everywhere, it is your time to speak, not with violence. Mark my words, not with violence or coup, not with anger, but with unity. Speak with your voice. Speak with your dignity. Speak with your demand for clarity. You could floor the lines. Make your request loud and peaceful. This is not disloyalty. This is due process of pain. We are never enemies of the vision. I personally am not an enemy of this vision. No. We are the very carriers of the burden. Let the management know. You cannot walk this far with people and leave them without information. Let Apostle Ken hear us, not as critics, not as enemies, but as sons and daughters crying for directions. Let the first week of June not come without a full and human address to the nation. No. I got another wind just of recent, lately, that a lot of things had to be shut down just for them to fix up the machine. But there was no communication to that effect. No official communication to back this up. It's painful. It's painful. We are not animals. We are beings. We are human beings. At least a sense of communication will show a sense of responsibility, a sense of commitment, a sense of belonging to the people who once believed in you. Let the silence be shattered. Let leadership rise above excuses. This is the moment we advocate for your voice. We do. Country director, we do. Yeah. You know, there is something about sacred, or there is something sacred about trust. It is not given easily, and when it is broken, the damage is not to wallets or to timelines, it is to souls. The people believed, not because they were foolish, but because for once someone spoke their language. For once someone stood on the pulpit and acknowledged their pain, their poverty, their promise. And so they followed, they hoped, they invested not only time or resources, they invested faith. But now they feel abandoned, not because the disbursement has not yet come, but because the heart behind it feels like it has gone missing. No communication, no assurance, no emotional connection. And here lies the real one. It is not just the delay of funds, but the delay of comfort. You can delay a transfer, but do not delay empathy. You can ask for time, but do not go silent when the time is stretched. Because when you say something, the people hear everything. They hear will no longer matter. They hear your hunger is not urgent. They hear we have moved on, even if you haven't. And what a tragedy it will be to gather a nation in prayer and let them fall in silence, to build a following of the faithful and abandon them when the weight becomes heavy. We understand logistics. We understand administrative hurdles. But what we cannot understand, what we should never understand, is emotional neglect. How is it that people can give their last kobo fast for days and share flyers all over the nation, only to be greeted by uncertainty over and over again? Does no one feel our pain? Have the planners become so numb that the widow's cry no longer matters? Does the Apostle Ken know how many people are now mocked, taunted, ridiculed for standing by this vision? Does he know that his silence is being used to embarrass the very people who fought for his name? This is not fair. This is not ministry. This is not love. And still, we speak not to condemn, but to awaken. Because we still believe this was birthed by God. We still believe that this vision and this mission was backed by God. It was birthed by God. We still believe this is a divine vision. But every divine vision needs human compassion to survive. Yes. Yes, they do. They need human compassion to survive. Even Jesus wept. Even Moses pleaded. Even prophets cried out when the people groaned on the burden. So where are the tears now? Where is the fatherly presence that once covered the nation like a blanket of hope? Where is the voice that once called us sons and daughters? We are still here, but we are not where. We are not rebels. We are not doubters. We are not enemies. We are simply the wounded, waiting for a touch of leadership. And if there is anything that must be understood now, right now, it is this: there is power in words. A single voice note, a single live broadcast, a single written message crafted not with excuses but with human warmth can stabilize an entire people again. But when those in power choose silence, the people are left to wrestle with shadows. No one wins in darkness. This generation has carried too many burdens already. Inflation, unemployment, fuel hikes, economic traumas, disappointments after disappointments. They clung to this project because it sounded like salvation. And now they are scared. To even speak of it, they are scared. They are afraid they'll be told again, it's next month. And when next month becomes next quarter, the soul begins to die slowly. Dear leadership, please understand, this is not about disbursement anymore. This is about trauma. This is about trust. This is about the dignity of human lives left waiting with no care or closure. And to every Nigerian who is hearing this right now, who is hearing my voice, not, you're not crazy for feeling tired. No. You're not weak for wanting answers. No. You're not wrong for demanding clarity. No. You're human. And you are worthy of the truth. Let no one guilt you into silence. Let no one shame your desperation. You are standing not just for yourself, but for millions who have no words to even express their pain anymore. Stand, speak, pray, and demand a decency of communication. Not with threats, not with insults, but with the dignity of the brokenhearted. You know why? Because the louder the silence from the top, the more necessary it is for the voices below to rise. Let every elder who has influence appeal. Let every spiritual leader who still has the fear of God advocate. Let every voice that once praised this project now ask for accountability. This is not betrayal, it is maturity. We can no longer afford to be a people who smile through pain just to appear faithful. Faith without clarity leads to disillusionment. Hope without communication leads to emotional bankruptcy. And time, when wasted, is the greatest thief of all time. So we say again, not with hate, not with rebellion, but with holy urgency, let the people breathe again. Let us hear from you, Apostle Ken, not with coded language, not with third-party messengers, but with your voice, sincere, clear, and full of empathy. Because until the people hear from their shepherd, they will remain in the valley of confusion. And a confused people cannot carry a divine mandate. Speak to us, not because you are pressured, but because you care. Speak to us, not because of noise, but because we are your people. And finally, speak to us because we are breaking and we need to know you see us. I rest my case. This is Princess Seed Channel, the channel with legitimacy of updates, information that could suit your field. We just needed advocacy, and we pray that this one more time, the country director would hear the voice notes. Do your part, share it to groups, share this message to very many other persons, to channel WhatsApp group, Facebook group, and everywhere, Telegram, so that Apostle Ken could do the needful. Thank you for standing by.